Breaking news, Lisa Murkowski, the first Republican senator to say President Trump should resign after inciting the insurrection on Capitol Hill. This, as one of Trump's biggest defenders in his election lies, Senator Ted Cruz, is doing damage control. This is what Senator Cruz is saying now. He just gave an exclusive interview about Trump to station KTRK.
The president's language and rhetoric often goes too far. I think yesterday in particular, the president's language and rhetoric crossed a line and it was reckless. I disagree with it. And I have disagreed with the president's language and rhetoric for the last 4 years.
What? He has disagreed with the president's language and rhetoric for the past 4 years? Okay, hold that thought about the 4 years. I want to start with what else he said. Quote, yesterday in particular, the president's language and rhetoric crossed the line and it was reckless. I disagree with it, end quote. This is pretty easy to check, okay? Here is Trump with his language and rhetoric at 12:15 p.m.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women, and we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them, because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong.
So then the violent mob incited by that rhetoric descended on Capitol Hill. Again, that was 12:15. So at 1:12 p.m., Senator Cruz stood up to challenge the free and fair election on Trump's behalf.
Is the objection in writing and signed by a senator?
Yes, it is.
It is.
That's Senator Ted Cruz, not calling out Trump's rhetoric and language. And neither, by the way, did he in the fundraising text that his campaign sent as the insurrection was taking place. Cruz raising money off of it. The text said, I'm leading the fight to reject electors from key states unless there is an emergency audit of the election results. Will you stand with me? So, when Senator Cruz in that interview told Texas voters that he thought Trump's actions, that his words, his language and rhetoric on Wednesday was wrong, he was not telling them the truth. Okay, so now the next part of what Cruz said in that interview, right? Quote, I have disagreed with the president's language and rhetoric for the last 4 years. This is too easy. Because Senator Cruz not only did not stand up to disagree with Trump's language and rhetoric during the 4 years of his presidency, okay, you listen, you decide what words are best to describe this.
I am honored that President Trump is here endorsing and supporting my campaign.
I've worked hand in hand with President Trump from the day he's been elected, and together we've accomplished incredible results for the country.
God bless President Donald Trump.
And of course, it isn't as if anything that Trump said on the day of the riot is different than other things that he has said over the past several months to win re-election.
The only thing they understand is strength. Remember that.
Proud boys, stand back and stand by.
We did not come this far and fight this hard only to surrender.
Cruz never said a word about that language or rhetoric, not a word. Of course, to state the fact again, he was the one who led the charge to object to the election on the Senate floor. And think about this. In that crowd, that mob, there were people that Reuters heard talking about killing Mike Pence and stringing him up on a tree. Could some of that be because people like Ted Cruz never disagreed with these types of comments made by Trump again and again at rallies to those diehard supporters?
When you see these thugs being thrown into the back of a paddy wagon, you just see them thrown in, rough. I said, please don't be too nice.
Any guy that can do a body slam, he's my kind.
Never a peep from Cruz, never once. And then there is this. When Ted Cruz was running against Donald Trump to be the Republican nominee for president, well, back then, he did disagree.
Donald, you're a sniveling coward. This man is a pathological liar, a narcissist at a level I don't think this country's ever seen. The man is utterly amoral. Morality does not exist for him.
Wow. In fact, the old Ted Cruz, back in 2016, actually spoke out about the violence. He nailed it.
He's willing to say things regardless of the consequences. What he's willing to say and what he's willing to do does real damage potentially to the country. Donald Trump now has a consistent pattern of inciting violence, of Donald and his henchmen pushing for violence.
You couldn't make that up, could you? What happened to that, Senator Ted Cruz? Because once Trump was president, Cruz became a sycophant. Out front now, Amanda Carpenter.